Hi, I'm with Laser Line Manufacturing out of Redmond, Oregon, and we're here today to talk to you about direct reading grade rods, also known as a true elevation rod and sometimes referred to as a Lenker rod. And what these rods do is they actually read the true or direct elevation on the rod itself on a job site. So what it does is it eliminates all the math. You're not having to carry a calculator, you don't have to do any adding, there's no subtracting. It's just whatever you read on the rod face, that is your elevation. So let me start with illustrating a little bit about how those elevations come about. When a job is set up, typically, the job is going to be depicted in true elevation with a starting point, which is called your benchmark. And that benchmark, for example, if you're in Miami, could be 6 feet. If you're in Boston, it could be 141 feet is your starting point. If you're in Denver, it could be 5,130 or anywhere in between. So for purposes of conversation today, we're going to say that our benchmark elevation on this job is 2352.50. Well, the grade rod's obviously not 2,000 feet high, so what we're going to use is the whole number and the last 2 digits. So I've got a bench on this job of 2,352 feet and 50 hundredths. And so what we're really going to be looking at is 250 on our grade rod, which is going to represent 2352.50. So for example, on this particular illustration, if I have a footing elevation, it might be depicted as 2351.50. I might have a building finished floor at 2353.85, and in this case I've got a catch basin of 2349.28. So what's nice, what we're going to do is we're going to show you how the direct reading rod works and how simple it is basically. So what I'll do is this is a direct reading rod right here. We happen to make 16 different models. This is a 10-foot rod in feet, tenths, and hundredths. That's how many jobs are set up, probably most jobs. And that's this. By the way, this true elevation is elevation above mean sea level. So you've probably the first thing you'll notice about this grade rod is that, well, the numbers are they're not going the same way as a normal grade rod. You have 4 feet, 5 feet, 6 feet, 7 feet. The other thing about it is, you'll notice, is this has a movable tape. And what that tape does is, by moving it, we're going to be able to set our bench elevation into the rod. The other thing about this grade rod is that on the side of it, this particular rod is used with a laser. So there's a rail on the side of this rod that allows you to set your detector in there and slide the detector the full 10-foot travel of the rod without having to continually, loosen the clamp, tighten the clamp, run it up and down on the rod. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you. We're going to take off from our bench elevation of 250, and the first thing we need to do is let me turn this laser on, activate the laser, and then we're going to take. We have a special bracket that slides inside of this rail, and that your laser receiver mounts to. So I've already mounted the receiver to it. The receiver slides inside of the rail like this. And what's nice about it is it allows, as I said, full travel. So wherever you are, you can be picking up grade down at the bottom of your rod, picking it up at the top, or you can be elevated way up here. For example, if you're down in a hole. So let's get to work here in terms of setting this rod up to this bench elevation. So what I would do is I'd walk over, set my rod on top of my bench right here, and then I'm going to run the receiver up and down until I pick up the steady tone, and that's going to tell me that obviously that I'm on grade. Down. All right, so that's grade right there. Actually, I want to come up just a little bit. So I've locked onto the laser. Now I'm going to lock my receiver down so it doesn't move. Now I'm going to take this tape, I'm going to loosen this bracket here, And I'm going to run this tape to 2.50. 9, 10, 1. There's 2 feet. 240, 250 is right there. And now I'll lock the tape in so that it's not going to move. Now, okay, so I'm on grade there and I'm at 250. So what I want to do with this rod at this point is, if I want to now pick up elevation at 2351.50, which is say a footing elevation, I can run the receiver up to 150, and as I dig, when the receiver goes off, I'll know that the bottom of my rod is at this 2351.50. Same thing with a catch basin, 2349.28. What I would do is run the rod to 9.28. There's 9, 25, 28 right there. So as I dig down, when I pick up the steady tone, and the bottom of my rod is at that point, I'm at that elevation. So again, there's no figuring, there's no math, you're not carrying a calculator with you, you're not dealing with paper and a pencil, and miscalculations. What it does is virtually eliminates miscalculations caused by mathematical error. So the rod is, it's made out of heavy-duty aluminum. It is anodized, it's a tempered material. These are very, very tough. They take a lot of abuse, and yet they're very user-friendly. So that's a direct reading rod. That's a direct reading / true elevation Lenker rod, and that's how you use it. This is called the GR1000. It reads in feet, tenths, and hundredths, true elevation above your bench elevation or below. But it also reads cut and fill. So if you're a contractor that's doing a lot of work like pad work or whatever, where you just want to know if you're high or low from some reference point, this rod is a very good, this would be a good choice for you. The tape is set up, if you'll notice, on the left-hand side, this is your true elevation side, so I can use it for true elevation, like I did in this example. Or I can use it, if I'm using the right-hand side of the tape, I can use it as a cut and fill. It will tell me whether I'm high or low from some reference and by how much. Example, I'm too high by 1300ths, or I'm too low by 1200ths, without doing any math. So the way this works is this. We'll put our receiver on there again, slide it into our special rail. I'm going to run the receiver up and down until I pick up the steady tone. Okay, that's great. I'm going to turn it off so it doesn't drive us crazy. Now I'm going to set the tape at 0. So I'm going to just run this tape and set the pointer across from 0. See, right between the red and the blue. So the way this would now work is, let's say that I'm up on this pad here, and I just want to know if I'm, if I have low spots or high spots, and how, by how much. So what I could do is I can go out here, and now any place I pick up out on the pad to check my elevation, this says, hey, God, I'm 1800ths too high right here. So it's reading direct, as I can see. There's a 10th, 15, 1800ths. If I was too low, which is hard to do in this case because we have a concrete floor under us, but I'll tilt the rod to illustrate it. If I was too low by a 10th, well, there's 800, 700, 600, 500s. So I'm 500ths too low right here. Obviously, I'm not holding my rod plumb, but so what's nice about this particular rod is it reads both true elevation and or cut and fill. So, it's they're versatile. Again, they're fast. No math. I'm not carrying a calculator. I don't have a pad. I don't have a pencil, and I'm not going to be making any errors in terms of adding and subtracting because the rod does it for me. Thank you very much.